You are about to witness bodily dismemberment, sub-zero temperatures, and all-out mayhem. Brought to you by the Frontline Network.
Sup, COH fans, and welcome to episode 14 of Frontline Fatalities Season 3, brought to you by the Frontline Network, presented by me, FatalSaint, and today with my special guest, Siberian. Welcome to the show, Siberian.
What up, people? Thank you very much, Fatal.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. We're gonna have another little bit of an extra special cast here while Tommy is recuperating from his prior illness. Maybe he's actually recovered when this cast is released, as it is scheduled to be released in a week or so from today, which is the 3rd of October. So we'll just go on with me, FatalSaint, and Siberian for another cast, just like my previous cast with Ipkai-Fung. I actually casted one with him yesterday, Siberian. It was very, very fun. So hopefully this will be just as fun. And we got a doozy of a game I've heard from you between yourself playing the Soviets versus a lollipop gangster playing as the Germans. Not exactly sure who this player is. Maybe he's a Korean player. We're not exactly sure. He has a very funky name, at least. Let's put on the player names. You can see it here on the top left hand side corner of the screen. 302 Lollipop Gangster 460 something. What the hell is that name? I don't even know what's happening right now, but whatever. Doesn't really matter. So without further ado, with at the 5-second mark, it's gonna be a 1 versus 1 on Moscow Outskirts. What do you think about Moscow Outskirts as a 1 versus 1 map? 2v2, I love it. It's like the best map ever. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think in 1 versus 1?
It's a bit too big for 1 versus 1, I feel.
Yeah.
This map kind of tends to open up a lot more spammier strats, so mass conscripts, mass grins into fast hit, that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it kind of deviates from the usual 1v1 meta, I feel, but...
So you gotta play a bit differently just because of the map?
Yeah, because it's Moscow Outskirts, I'm planning mass map control, so conscripts.
Interesting. So let's see how this game actually evolves. You ready to go, Sib?
Yeah, I'm good to go.
At the 5-second mark, we'll unpause the game in 3, 2, 1, unpause. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So starting out with conscripts as usual. What is your go-to strategy on Moscow Outskirts then, especially? Does it deviate from your other game plans on different maps?
For Moscow Outskirts, I have one of two options, really. I'll either invest heavily into conscripts and just harass all over the place, or I would tech to tier 1, tier 4, since this is a very open map, so SU-85s do have the rain, provided you support them well enough. What do you use from the tier 1 building? Because generally nowadays the meta seems to have changed from usually going for M3s, then they were changed and nerfed and whatnot, and but people still use snipers, and then the snipers were changed, and nowadays I see a lot of tier 2, tier 3 stuff going on. Not that much tier 1. Yeah, you're definitely right in the sense that tier 3 is a lot more popular with tier 2, but I still use tier 1 for snipers. Sniper play is probably one of my stronger openings, I would argue. And SU-85s, although they've been nerfed, they still do the damage. They still do dish out the damage if you really need it, and especially, I guess, on an open map like this, especially in the center, there's not really that many shot blockers. A little piece of a hedge in the outright center, some trees and stuff, and a few buildings on the right-hand side of the center as well. But apart from that, it's way open. So, but what do you think about AT guns then, for example, on a map like Moscow Outskirts? AT guns are good, quite prone to flanking, but again, you can avoid that by having a couple of conscripts supporting it from either sides of 18-8s. Okay, you kind of have to catch your opponent off guard if you want to use AT guns, though, I feel. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you gotta bait him in to make a decision. Basically bait him with something that looks really, really delicious. You gotta get this tank here. I'm gonna get it, and chase your tank with his own tank into your AT gun wall or whatever, and an AT nade, and then get demolished that way. So we have 3 conscript openings so far from you, while we have an MG on the far right-hand side capping this fuel here. Gonna
actually meet up with your conscript right now. What do you think about the MG42 now? After this, the two recent patch, we changed it, 25% extra damage taken, and the suppression changes as well.
It's a lot better now. Before it was just an unkillable support unit. Now it's what it is, a support unit than just that. The suppression might be a slight bit too low, but other than that, it's fine. I have no issues with the MG42.
Okay. So you think the changes were fine, especially with that bulletin before the 10% extra suppression. It was basically instant pin. It wasn't even, it didn't even go into a suppressed mode. It just went instantly to pin. Yeah,
literally the first bullet would pin your squad. It wasn't fun at all.
Yeah, I guess not. It basically locked down the entire game, and the fluidity of the infantry movement was very hampered due to that. So 2 Grens chasing your conscript. Quite a lot of use of Ura. What do you think about that ability?
Great ability. I love Ura. Only issue I have at the moment is its cost. 10 munitions for 1 use is slightly steep, I feel.
They changed that, right? Didn't they? From 5 to 10?
Yeah, they changed it for no reason. They didn't say why.
So you think it would be a wise decision to most likely revert that change back to 5 munitions, as I think it's sometime during the alpha or whatever, maybe even a closed beta, the Ura ability actually gave you a combat buff as well, but that was changed. Right now it's just the movement buff you get from using it, so 10 munitions for a movement buff. I think I'm prone to agree with you. It's a bit too steep.
It is, yeah. Especially if you take into effect that conscripts rely on better positioning to flank MGs and Grens and whatnot. You're kind of forced to use Ura to get the better hand.
So it was a nice engagement against a Grenadier that actually was forced to vacate the house that it garrisoned due to Molotov. So you went 4 conscripts into Molotovs, is that right?
I believe so.
Or was it 3 Molotov and then another conscript? I'm not exactly sure, but...
No, 4 conscripts Molotovs.
4 conscripts Molotovs. Would you usually always go for 4 conscripts, or is this just basically due to the big map we're playing on right now, Moscow Outskirts?
No, Moscow Outskirts would pretty much make me go 4. There's no reason to go 3 because I give up quite a bit of map control.
So we have the first heavy weapon upgrade on one of the Grenadiers out from Lollipop Gangster, an LMG on his Grenadiers. What do you think about the LMG on Grens right now? I see quite a lot of people thinking it's a bit too powerful for its cost right now. And I know for basically a fact, due to watching some of the official Relic streams, that it might be coming up on the shopping block soon.
Yeah, the LMG is definitely one of those things which is considered slightly ridiculous at this point in time. It forces your your conscripts to basically lose unless you get the upper hand off the bat with a Molotov crit or some other miracle. 1-on-1, conscripts cannot stand to LMG Grens.
Yeah, we do have an LMG Gren, but he's on the move and you can't fire that LMG while moving, so your conscripts are getting some free shots in on this Grenadier squad, but look at that damage up close. Nice Molotov. It actually kills one of the Grens. Maybe almost 2 of them, yeah. He's forced retreat at 1 man. So obviously, due to him not paying enough attention there, stopping his Grenadier when he ran into your conscript squad, because otherwise he would have won that engagement. Just look at that, 5-man conscript squad with 50% health left.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. So at this point in time, I'm not particularly happy with my map control for conscripts, and I have barely 50% of the map. It's looking pretty grim.
It's fairly split right now, yeah.
Yeah.
So we do have guard motor coordination tactics chosen. Is that just a doctrine that you feel goes well with this map, or is it just your favorite doctrine altogether?
I had a plan prior to this game. My plan was tier 1, tier 4, as per usual, and I feel guard motor coordination tactics complements that kind of playstyle very well. You have the self-repair on the SU-85, and you have the T-34-85s as supporting tanks to prevent those flanks and actually spearhead the enemy.
Yeah, you get something else than the SU-85 in the T-34-85, so you get a kind of a main battle tank for your forces as well without building tier 3. And we do see, I saw that you retreated your combat engineers, upgraded with a flamethrower now as well, back to the base for what seemed to be no apparent reason whatsoever, but obviously went back to build your tier 1 building.
Yep, so I saw a lot of Grens, I saw LMGs, my initial thought, right, my conscripts cannot stand up to this, I'm gonna need something to counter this, so snipers it is.
Okay, so you're thinking snipers with your tier 1 building, and we also have a guard squad call onto the field from you as well, while this conscript is actually being chased down by a scout car. He'll be going into the Soviet base as well to get this kill, but it seems that he changed his mind after he most likely saw this guard squad coming onto the field as well.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky there.
It was a bit risky, that retreat as well, down to 2 men I think on retreat, and then getting chased by this scout car. What do you think about the scout cars right now, especially the upgun one, after they now still retain their MG?
Yeah, it's a bit too powerful for what it is right now.
What do you propose as a change for that? Just tone down the DPS, basically.
I propose a higher fuel cost, perhaps, if not a higher fuel cost, then a higher manpower cost, at least, because they're quite a glass cannon unit, especially when you upgun them. They kind of feel like they do both AT and anti-infantry all in one for a mere 15 fuel now in this patch.
Yeah, it is dirt cheap, really.
It really is.
So some conscripts are forced to be garrisoned in a building here to try and stay away from this scout car, but it is taking quite a lot of damage, even in that house actually. Even though houses are extremely powerful in Company of Heroes 2. What do you think about the differences between Company of Heroes 1 and Company of Heroes 2? Because maybe not most people know, but you've been playing quite a lot of Company of Heroes 1 as well.
Yeah, the differences are huge. Houses are pretty much castles in COH2. You can't really dislodge them with a conscript flank or a grenadier flank. You kind of have to get a serious hard counter, so any flame weapon unit or grenades or a mortar. But even then, it's just RNG.
Yeah, I discussed it a little bit with Ipkai in the previous cast, and he basically thought the same thing, that the RNG factor is a bit too huge on both sides. Sometimes it seems like the units inside do take quite a lot of damage, and all of a sudden it all seems kind of like Vico, it seems good, and then all of a sudden they take literally 0 damage. But then one mortar shell demolishes a 100% HP building to rubble in one shell.
Yeah. So Grand Squad goes down. I threw a
nice grenade
in there. Yeah.
I actually thought he was going to get away from there after vacating the house, losing 3 guys while exiting the building in the front door where the grenade was landed. He had 1 man. I thought he was going to live, so I went over to the right-hand side to check out that engagement, which forced a Pio squad to retreat due to some conscripts. At the same time, this scout car, very damaged right now, but he keeps going at it against your conscripts here.
Yep, he keeps harassing me. It's a pain in my ass at this point in time. I can't really counter it except for small arms fire, but that's so unreliable.
Yeah, it seems to be that the penetration from small arms fire against the scout car, it's very, very hit or miss and very RNG as well. Sometimes you just chase the scout car with a conscript squad and they do tons of damage, and sometimes they do nothing. So let's take a look at the German player. He's obviously got tier 2 up with this scout car. He's even built himself a bunker in his base, turned it into a healing bunker. So he's getting some nice health regen on his infantry squads. At the same time, from you, we do have back in the base tier 4 coming up already with almost 90 fuel banked as well. So you will have no problems when this building actually goes up to produce an SU-85 if you need it.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident at this point in time. I would have built a sniper, but I did surprisingly well with my conscripts and guard squad. I took a vast majority of the map, so I thought, okay, there's no need for a sniper just quite yet, so I can tech.
Let's see what the German player still has. I'm gonna switch over to his view a little bit so we can see his unit tab on the top right hand side corner. 3 grants remained of the 4 that he built, and he built 2 MGs as well, 2 Pios, and that's scout car as well. So his army is still pretty large, even after losing one of his Gren squads and losing that investment of the LMG, because that was an LMG equipped Gren squad, like all of his Grens actually. He's got an LMGs on every single one apart from one, every single Grenadier apart from this one at the scout car here, which has been topped off now, fully health again. So yeah, it's gonna remain at large for a while, harassing your conscripts, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm losing a lot of the map as well, so sniper on the way to try and win some territory back.
There we go, sniper team hitting the field from Siberian. So how do you usually want to try and play with your snipers? Do you just, because we've seen different variations of playstyle with the snipers. Some people run around with them alone using that Vet 1 ability, the sprint ability, just to take pot shots at, you know, a single squad somewhere capping. Use your sniper alone, go over there with the sprint ability, shoot some bullets in their faces and then run away again.
Yeah, I feel that's a good idea, but you should never leave your sniper alone, especially with a scout car roaming around on such a big map. You're just asking to get flanked.
Another rifle nade used. The second one now, he tried to shoot at your guard squad. Didn't really work this time either. He just took a little bit of health damage and one casualty due to the LMGs trying to focus fire you down while you vacated from the cover there. So now the sniper is on the field, plugging away at these grenadiers. We got that combat engineer back on the field with the flamethrower. They're finally done building all of those base buildings.
So yeah, as you can see, the scout car's coming up, getting ready to flank. But I have my guard squad nearby. I was anticipating this, so no real issue for me.
So let's see, did you upgrade both Molotovs and 18 aids and the HQ healing as well? There was a fairly nicely placed MG guarding this fuel on the far left hand side, and all of a sudden you kinda find yourself without any of the high fuel income points on the map right now, but you do have enough fuel to start producing at least your SU-85, and you have an M3 now with a guard squad in it. Is this to basically just to chase down the scout car?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've had enough.
I've had enough. That scout car needs to go.
So is this a go-to counter to, because this is what we saw quite a lot previous patches, to get the M3 with the guard squad to chase the scout cars, and then people stopped using them, I guess because people stopped using tier 1. If you don't go tier 1, what do you do against the scout car in that case? If say if you play tier 2, tier 3?
It would have to be 18 aids and as is. That's the only thing I can think of. You can get guards as well, but again, guards can get kited by the 222, 221. Even with an M3 opening, I'd be very hesitant since Lollipop has already upgraded to the 2cm autocannon, so this M3 isn't really going to do anything, provided he repairs his scout car.
Yeah, he is being forced off the field due to that M3. He retreated both of his grenadier squads before, and he actually drove away with his 221, which is now 222. And here's the SU-85 out from Siberian as well, so that's going to be rolling into the center, and you're regaining some of the map control. How do you set up defenses at the Soviets?
I kind of pick a critical point with my sniper, wander around, pick targets, force engagements rather than being forced into engagement. Use my SU-85 for AT cover for the sniper, and just keep picking away until I force him to retreat. And when I know he's retreated, I push forward.
Okay, so you wait for the enemy to engage you before you do anything at all. You just
so
react to what he does.
Yeah.
So he's trying to chase your SU-85 away, most likely trying to get maybe a Faust in on it to damage his engine. Because even the scout car, as squishy as it is, the glass cannon it can still do quite a bit of damage to an SU-85 on the rear armor.
Yeah, especially with the latest acceleration and max speed nerfs to the SU-85. Quite prone to flanking.
So you did force off both Grenadier squads from Lollipop Gangster. Here comes that 222. One burst is enough to take out that M3 with the guards in it, but I do believe that you vacated the guards in time, so you didn't take any casualties from that.
Nope, but I'm gonna lose a conscript squad.
Oh, I just saw that. So we do have a PG out now from the German player. Still only tier 1 and tier 2 in the base. So apart from the scout car, this SU-85 doesn't really have much to shoot at. Do you feel like you've wasted your resources now when you don't see any enemy tanks?
No, not at all. I need some sort of AT with this build, and guards just won't do. If anything, I feel more comfortable now because it allows me to push in deeper with the sniper, and I don't have to worry about an AT.
SU-85 trying to get at the scout card, nicely reversed away, most likely using that reverse unit command on that scout car. I'm not exactly sure where he's going, most likely back to base to maybe get repaired again. But he did get Vet 2 on it. What's your thought about the Vet 2 defensive buffs on vehicles?
Yeah, they turn into unkillable machines, I've Vet 2 a lot of the time.
So what do you do against, you know, trying to hinder your opponent to hit Vet 2 with his vehicles? Do you just go for the throat instantly, or do you just try to stay away from the vehicles as much as possible, or pick your fights?
Yeah, you basically take any opportunity you can get to finish it off before he gets to Vet 2. If you find yourself in a situation where there is Vet 2 and he's chasing my sniper down near my base, it's Vet 3 now, you kind of just have to take it.
How did that sniper actually magically live there?
I do not know.
Very, very surprising. He's not letting up though, and he's trying to focus fire the sniper down. It is not dying, however. There we go. Finally he gets it. Took much longer than expected, especially at Vet 3, which increases his damage, I believe. So he should have been able to kill it much faster than that. What do you think about the cutoff here that the Panzer Grenadiers just took? What do you think about cutoffs in general? Do you think the maps have enough of them? Personally, I love the cutoff mechanic of the Company of Heroes franchise. It's something that's much needed, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Cutoffs are great little features. Some of the maps have controversial cutoffs, if I'm honest, but on the whole, they're decent.
Oh,
conscript.
Second conscript squad down. That's 2 of your Vet 2 conscript squads down now in quick succession. Not feeling too comfortable anymore, I'm guessing at least.
Yeah, I'm biting my nails at this point in time.
So, do you replace your lost conscripts so you still have the capping power needed on a large map like this, or do you replace them with guards? I see you're replacing your dead sniper for now.
Yep, I need a second sniper. He has way too much infantry. And I would much rather have a pushing unit, such as a sniper, which will allow me to dislodge the enemy, then cap, and just lose the territory I gain in 2 minutes.
Nice.
So the MG on the
crits.
left is still harassing me. I haven't been able to flank it whatsoever. It's just...
You actually got rid of it with one of your combat engineers before, which forced it to retreat, but it just basically went back to the German base, and then it went back to guard the fuel again.
It's been a pain in my ass the entire game. I have no fuel income at this point in time, except bar a few points.
Yeah, as everybody knows that plays Company of Heroes 2, even strategic points now give very minimal income to fuel and munitions as well. So you don't need a high point, but without the high points, you're not going to be pumping out any armor anytime soon, I guess. So your army is looking fairly small compared to before, down to 2 conscripts under that guard squad you purchased, and you got your replacement snipers up to 2 sniper teams again, the combat engineer and the SU-85 after losing that M3 is your only vehicle now. And this scout car is still alive at Vet 3.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it seems. The 2 snipers will deal a lot of damage.
Ooh, nice button used here. Your SU-85 moves in, but the scout car manages to, maybe not, destroyed engine. You did get your SU-85 Fausted, but it's still going to be able to hunt it down, hopefully. Not exactly sure with the speed debuff using the focus side ability and the damage engine.
It's me being desperate. I'm thinking, alright, this guy needs to go. He's had enough rain on the field, but I just can't finish it.
It's kind of just not happening, is it?
Yeah, it really isn't. I get so depressed watching this. My poor SU-85 crawling forwards and then back after a failed attempt.
Oh, and he gets fausted into the face once again. Grenadier squad tried to get an LMG burst off of one of the snipers, but they find a better solution, which is just running back to base instead of losing that entire squad, which was a big possibility after engaging the 2 snipers with a 2-man squad. Panzer Grenadier capping away at your munitions point. How do you react to something like that when you see a lone capping squad somewhere?
Against PGs, never send conscripts against them. Snipers, really. The only reason.
Snipers have really always been like the go-to counter to do Panzer Grenadiers. Every shot being 45 manpower down the drain. quite a lot of value.
Finally, we have a success. I managed to kill the scout car, but Lollipop has another surprise for me at this point in time. As soon as I killed that 222, we get a tiger on the field.
So the 222's bigger brother has hit the field right now, and this is actually the third replay in a row that I see tigers. Is it tigers? Is the new meta? Is this it, Siberian?
Tigers are a great counter to Su-85s. Their frontal armor just forces the shells to bounce off half the time, so they can actually engage from the front and flank the Su-85. They don't cost as much fuel nowadays, which is another reason why they've become so popular.
So what do you do against tigers in this situation when you've gone tier 1, tier 4? Keep pumping Su-85s? We saw that in a shoutcast me and Tommy casted. It didn't work for Condemnation Wings in that game that we casted, but I guess it can work?
Yeah, basically you kite the tiger with the Su-85, you use your speed advantage, which isn't much, and your longer range. That's the only thing you can do.
Well, right now I guess your Su-85 doesn't really have a speed advantage due to the damage engine from the Faust, so this is looking a bit problematic. Your snipers did manage to take out one of the Vet 2 Gwen squads equipped with an LMG or G43s, I'm not exactly sure what, but it did have a heavy weapon upgrade. But right now your Su-85 finds itself in a bit of a pickle.
Yep, I am in trouble now. I was hoping to get the engine repaired using self-repair and save up for the T-3485s, but as soon as I saw that tiger, I knew I would have to rebuild this. It was just no way I could get that tank out of there.
Man, that tiger did a pretty good number on that Su-85, fairly fast as well. That was every single shot hitting and penetrating, I believe, on the frontal armor of the Su-85.
Yeah, you can't go toe-to-toe with a tiger, just not happening.
So right now you did manage to force off that MG on the far left hand side. You're losing the fuel once again to an LMG equipped Grenadier. Your opponent being quite aggressive. He's all over the field. He's not really bunkering down somewhere with his MG42s. The only MG42 that has been stationary for the majority of the mid game is that one guarding the fuel on the left hand side, and that's mainly, I think, just to basically be annoying, because you want that fuel, it's closest to your base, you want to go there, there's an MG, it forces one of your squads away, and you over and over and over again. And it creates a problem for you, obviously. But apart from that, he's very fluid, all over the map. You know, you can see on the minimap, there's squads all over the place. Far right-hand side, in the center right, and then outside of his base to the left, and you know, this Tiger and the 2 Grens now in the center as well.
Yeah, he's definitely all over the place.
So how do you counter this type of play? What are you thinking right now? What do you want to do?
While it may look like he has the advantage, I actually have a very powerful combination. I have 3 snipers which will just murder infantry, and the Su-85 will always be able to outrange the Tiger. So it's just a matter of micro at this point in time.
I see. So you feel still, even with a Tiger on the field and this, well, there used to be a lot of Grenadiers on the field, but they're mostly getting sniped right now, and that's going to force a retreat once again for those Panzer Grenadiers after losing an entire Gren squad here in the center. Let's see how many he still has. He still has 3 of them, so he must have been rebuilding. Some of them are, 2 of them have Vet 2, but another one is completely vanilla, no veterancy whatsoever. And here we go with a second Tiger on the field already. I'm guessing as he's been in possession of both of the fuels on the map for quite some time, he could easily afford 2 Tigers. What do you do now?
You just run. You run and keep firing back.
So Siberian's pro tactic tip against 2 Tigers is run away.
Run away and keep picking at it from range. And once he's backing off, push. And kill a Tiger.
Very nice. Your Su-85 is in hot pursuit. Gets a nice frontal penetrating hit on one of the Tigers, taking it out. That's a nice scalp for your Su-85. In the replays I saw, there was a lot of deflections on Tiger's frontal armor especially, so I'm guessing you got a bit of a RNG luck there.
Yeah, you just gotta keep taking pop shots at the Tiger at range. That's all you gotta do. Just prevent flanks and keep trying to be on top of positioning.
Yeah, and obviously using the rest of your units as you know, supporting roles. With the snipers especially, the Tigers have no infantry support. They have nothing to screen for them as well.
Definitely.
So the name of the game is basically, as it always been with the Company of Heroes franchise, is combined arms.
Yep, combined arms.
Here we go. We do have some Shreks on these Panzer Grenadiers right now, but obviously with the sniper still on the field from you, the Pigrens are extremely vulnerable, I have to say. They get shot twice or 3 times. They're forced to retreat, obviously. And if you get sniped by an Su-85, that is not good. And he's going to keep going. He needs to retreat that squad. Luckily so, he does. Oh, nice rifle nade attempt on the snipers. Killed 2 of the scouts, I believe, but not an entire squad kill.
Oh. That's a nasty spread that the Tiger just unloaded into my guards.
Oh, wow. 1, 2, 3, 4 guards dead to 1 Tiger shot. Vet 2 guards now. Su-85 still going at it. You're gonna go for more put shots, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm bleeding myself, but I just gotta keep going. You just gotta bleed as much as you can with the 3 snipers. That's their entire job this game. Kill squads and bleed.
So do you ever panic when you know right now it's looking quite grim? You know you got 2 VPs against you. There's the center one and the left hand side one. You were just forced off the left hand side due to LMG grens, and that MG42 is setting up at that same spot once again, guarding the fuel on the left hand side. And obviously we have that remaining Tiger roaming around. You know, map control wise, you're losing the right hand side to Grenadiers and some other infantry pios as well from Lollipop Gangster. Do you ever panic? What do you do when you panic? How do you calm down?
You don't panic, you just have faith in your sniper control, basically. It's all it is. It's not that bad when you have 3 snipers on an Su-85. That will pretty much counter the vast majority that anyone can throw at you. So there's no need to panic, it's just a matter of controlling them well enough and being on top of things.
So more map control going into the Germans' favor on the right hand side, but at the same time you forced off the infantry and the Tiger vacated the center, so you're down to 98 VPs right now. So do you panic now when your VP is in double digits? It's just never panic. Siberian just doesn't give nothing. I never panic. I'm stone cold killer. No, I'm cold as ice.
Nah, you don't have to panic. You definitely have to be... you basically have to rush VPs, but that doesn't mean you should panic at all.
Sniper still working for you. 3 snipers. Never easy. What do you do again if you're playing Germans and the Soviet player would build tier 1, tier 4, going for snipers and Su-85s? How would you counter this? Because the German player is doing pretty good, especially on the VP front, but at the same time he lost the Tigers quite carelessly, I have to say. He's lost quite a lot of infantry squad, entire infantry squads due to the snipers as well, and he hasn't really properly countered them whatsoever.
He's definitely bleeding a lot more than I am, so that's what I'm hedging my game on. I plan on bleeding and winning through sheer attrition and better positioning.
Oh.
Yep.
I went the Pigren squad. A nice use of sprint, getting away from an LMG Vet 3 equipped Grenadier. Plugging away at them. Left hand side we did have the MG42 forced off by some guards and conscripts, and you are regaining that VP to stop the drain now.
Yep, and the Tiger's in a lot of trouble. It's got damaged engine and he has his back turned towards the Su-85.
Ooh, that's never good. Well, if the Su-85 could actually hit it, that would probably be better.
Yeah, that would be very helpful.
So let's take a look at the opponent real quick here to see what his resources are like. He literally has basically no manpower whatsoever. He's got a bank of 150 munitions and 130 fuel, so it's not going to be a second Tiger anytime soon. It's going to take him a couple of minutes to get one. Pio goes down due to the snipers. So now you're adding on another conscript? Is it basically just capping fodder right now?
Yeah, cannon fodder right now. I don't need conscripts for fighting, I just need to cap and be able to harass and push when I push squads off. I can't afford to have my snipers sit still and cap. I always need to have them mobile and picking off any targets I find. So I try to sprint and finish off that squad, but get a bit unlucky and don't quite manage to snipe it.
So using sprint offensively to try and chase down retreating units, not a bad idea. I can see that thing working out real good for you.
Yeah, sprint works both defensively and offensively. Use it.
It's extremely worth the few munitions you pay. You pay 10 munitions for sprint on a sniper. It's nothing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, as you can see, I'm not even bothering to cap that sector with my snipers, just because it's so far forward and I have no support for them there, so I just push them back. Always keep your snipers around units which can save their butts. So guards for button, conscripts of 18-8, SU-85 back in range, so I'm alright now.
Molotov thrown on an MG outside of the German base, and right now we have an Ostwind on the field, so he built tier 3 to pump out an Ostwind against your infantry here, and right now you have another Su-85 cooking as well. This Ostwind can do a little bit of damage to armored vehicles, but not a whole lot.
Yeah. The Su-85 and Ostwind quickly shake hands there. It catches me off guard, so I quickly run back.
He's trying to get around you here.
Yep. I have a Shrek conscript coming to support it. And
there's the Shrek, yeah.
So now Austin's pretty much dead.
Oh wow, that did a lot of damage, and your opponent actually drops from the game?
Yeah, he's been bleeding so much manpower over the past 10 minutes, he just can't keep up with the sniper play. And losing that Austin would mean he has nothing to counter the snipers.
Yeah, with triple snipers still on the field, there would have been nothing for him to do with his infantry. And without infantry support, his Tiger, which was very damaged, down to 50% health with a damaged engine as well, just hiding in the corner of the map. I'm not even sure if he still had no pyos? No pyos. So he couldn't even repair it.
Yep, so the Tiger was effectively out of action.
He barely had 200 manpower to start producing a Pio as well. So very well played from you, Siberian, and your opponents as well. Very, very aggressive German playstyle, I think. He was very spread out on a big map like Moscow Outskirts, which I felt when I played Moscow Outskirts before in 1 versus 1, it's hard to spread out as the Germans because you kind of, tend to get surged by double conscripts against your single grenadier, and you're just forced to retreat and hand over that side of the map to your opponent, as you can't hold your own against 2 conscripts with 1 gren.
Yeah.
So very nicely played, and congratulations to the win.
Thank you very much. Yeah, my opponent had me by the throat for the vast majority of that game. It was a miracle I managed to pull this one out the bag.
Very, very nice. Thanks, guys, for watching, and thanks for coming on the show, Siberian. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like this video, and tell all your friends. And maybe we'll have Siberian on in a future episode as well. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Have a good day, guys.
See you guys.